Okay, I'll just put this recording on, yeah? Just a sound, just for myself. I just want to make sure I cover everything. All right. So last week, this is week 2 now, right? Those of you come in first time, I'll just do a quick, catch up with you. So, what did I tell you? The first thing is very simple. Everywhere you go, you set your goals. You ask where you are. This morning, I was in the lift, right? There was one lady there. I walked in, and then, lift was going up. So the lady was kind enough to turn around and ask me, I think you have to press something, right? I said, yeah, thank you for reminding, because she stopped at level 7. I have to come to level 14, I can't be going to level 7 with her, right? I don't get paid there, you see. So what I'm trying to tell you is, in life, it's like in the lift. You walk in the lift, right? You have to know your destination before you embark on the journey, right? Otherwise, you'll be going round and round like a, cat chasing its tail, right? Or a dog chasing its tail. Cat normally don't chase tail, but unfortunately in life, not many people know whether you have goal or not, right? But if you walk into a lift, you are not pressing anything. You are strange, because it doesn't make sense why you get on the lift in the first place if you haven't got a purpose, if you haven't got a destination, right? So same thing in life. It's also weird if you don't have a goal, right? You'll be wasting your time, right? You're not doing any favor to your loved ones, to your families. You're not doing a great service. The best thing you can do to your loved one is to do something good for yourself. But you cannot do good thing for yourself if you haven't got a purpose and goal in life, right? It's so simple as that, right? It's very simple. Yeah, can you help me, Dalian? Yeah, close the door, please. Yeah, I can close it. So, thank you. So that is the first thing I think I told you guys. All right, so you have to have a purpose. So the purpose for you guys here is very simple. All right, like you have to have a map in order to find your purpose. So to have a map, you gotta zoom out, and what you see here is one dot, right, in this big paper called Australia, right? You are alone here. You might have a cousin, you might have a friend, so make it 2 dots then, right? If you are close to this cousin, 2 dots, because whatever he or she knows, right, you somehow can tap onto his resources or her resources. To be here for 10, 20 years, so even though you are 2 days old or only been here 2 months, you can still, benefit from the experience if you have good communication with this person. So it's very important that you have good friendship, right? Good relationship. You know why? It's very simple. The reason is because you only have 24 hours a day. So how much can you do? You can't have every information, right, you want, because you have limited time. So therefore you have to leverage. Leverage means you depend on others. You haven't spent even 1 year here, but your cousin has been spending 15 years working here. So just by talking to this person, you can have access to 15 years of experience. Don't you think it's important? Right? So now suddenly you have 15 years plus 2 months of experience. And then you know another person who's been here for 5 years. So now you have 20 years and 2 months of experience. So don't you think the more people you know, the better you are? Right? So that's very important. They might get you jobs. Last week I told you some strategies how you can get your jobs. All right? The strategy is very simple. Don't worry, I asked them to come around here. All right? You go and make sure your resume is 1 page, right? 1 page, 2 pages on 1 sheet of paper. If it has to be 2 pages, make it on 1 piece of paper. Don't want to have 3 or 4. All right? And make sure your cover letter is 1 page, right? Big fonts, size, with a photograph, colorful ones. And the other thing is, do some volunteer work, right? Post out letters to them instead of emailing them. So what I basically told you is, if you don't know anyone, you can still break through. You can still stand out from the crowd if you are creative, right? Do you agree that? Do you agree with that? So besides sending application letters through the formal channels, which is to seek.com.au, the advertisers. You can also go straight, right, to the employer. If you want to find a job, right, say in RMIT, so you go there, you look for the job. Go to the website. Go to the website, right? If you want to work in the tuition center, the language house, right, where they teach Urdu or they teach German or teach Turkish, and you are qualified Turkish speaker, you are qualified Urdu speakers. So what do? Write them a letter, right? Send them a resume application, get a job, right? So first, you go to the people, companies who advertise for the job, seek.com.au. Number two, you go to the people that you want job from them. Even though they don't advertise, you can still go in. You know why? Because when you go in, when they don't need a job, it means that you are early. You are number one. Before they even advertise, they got somebody to call first. You see that? All right? And then number three is, as I told you before, all the dots, you connect them up, all right, in Australia, right? They will be able to get you a job also. You see, if your friend is working in level 7, right, chances are you know about the job before you even read about the job in seek.com.au, all right? Because sometimes they advertise just for formality, but they already know who they want to get. You're the cousin. So, hey, go home today, right, seek.com, right, look for this company because we're going to advertise this afternoon. So you write in the resume, I'll call you. You see that? So this is called the hidden market, right? The hidden market. It's very important, all right, that you have all these resources. When you are back in your country, you are not one dot, because your family, they could be there for 6 generations, 7, 12, 20 generations. So you are not Ayas. You are Ayas. Say for example your name is Ayas Shah or Ayas Abdullah. So you are Ayas, the son of Mr. Abdullah, and your father Abdullah is Abdullah Muhammad. So Abdullah is, Muhammad is your grandfather, and you can get in the door, right, without the queue. Don't join the queue. Why? Because all the dots has been connected for you. You understand, right? You get a ticket from the police, right? You got some help, right? You call up your uncle in the government office. You see? The same works here. Don't let the mainstream media tell you everything is fair, meritocratic, It's not like that. Everything also is, connected. As long as you got human beings, you have politics. Politics is either good or bad. If it doesn't work again for you, it's bad. It works for you, it's good. All right? Everything is politics. So there's nothing negative about it. I'm just telling you the truth, you see. Of course, you have to be good as well. Like just being politically connected, even in India, if you can't perform the job, you can't get the job. Agree? Because there are other people who get connected, who are capable. Just because your father is a cricket, player, but doesn't mean you get into a cricket team, right? You have to be at least, right, of a certain standard. So it's the same here. The same is here. Everybody has to be connected, has to be capable, right? This is what I want to tell you. Now the next thing is start a blog, because you know why I want you guys to start a blog? Because last week I told you to do 2 things: fix up your resume, fix up your cover letter. So I'll go around and have a quick look afterward, right? And I want you to send out letters. How many of you have sent out application? Any result? Have you? No, not yet.
No results.
Okay. Did you post out the letters?
No, not.
Okay, go and post it out. All right. I want to see someone doing it next week. I mean, this week I want you to do it. Next week I want you to tell me the feedback. Share it in the classroom. It's very important. If 20 of you do that, 20 of you share the feedback, right? You believe it works. Otherwise, you think that I'm just talking big. I live in a fantasy land, right? Because I don't need a job now. I tell you to do all the stupid things. You see? No, it worked. I tried it before. Don't trust me? Why don't you go and find out, right? Prove I'm wrong. If you think I'm crazy telling you stupid things, try it. You say, Ken, you're crazy because I tried 200 jobs. right? Posting out all the, stamp. No, not even one interview. Give me back some money, because I buy a lot of stamps, So maybe I'll help you with that, you see. If you really send out 200 jobs and you still don't get a response, you are a very unlucky person, so I should help you also, you see. Right? So try it. Let's see if it works. Another rule of thumb, if you want to succeed, is don't believe in anybody. Don't believe in anyone. Now you believe me, but why should you believe me? I think you should believe me for a limited amount of time. Maybe 1 hour later you go and try it and it works. Then you believe yourself, not me anymore. Even though I give you the suggestion. You see? I can help guide you. I can help point out the direction. But it's ultimately you who help yourself. Nobody else can help you. Even your father, your mother, your brother, your sister. They can't help you if you don't help yourself. Because sometimes your father can even make a wrong decision for you. Your father asks you to marry a doctor, but you just find that this person has no integrity, right? And you prefer to go with someone else who is office worker, not a doctor, but he has integrity or she has integrity. 20 years later, he could be much better, right? Even though he doesn't have as much money, he can still be much better. You can still have a happier life. So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't tell your father will arrange a marriage with, a doctor. You see that? For you, a doctor husband or doctor wife, whoever. But you want a person. You want a person who is really good, who happens to be a doctor, or could be a teacher, or could be, an IT person. Doesn't matter. So who knows better about your life? Who knows better about your situation? I think it's you, not your father, not your mother. And if you haven't told her, she will never know, then she'll make decision for you. So life is cruel, okay? Now, the next thing I say is start a blog. Do you know why start a blog? Because fix your cover letter, fix your resume, and the third thing asks you to do is the blog. Because the blog is essentially your resume at a different level. That is your best resume. Because you can give resume, you can go for interview, and after the interview or before you leave the interview room, if you'd like to know more about me, this is my website, this is my blog. Here are some of the things that I've done. You can have a quick look. And the person can, type on it. And the best thing is, when you have a blog, someone could be talking about you as well. Then you have like references, testimony. This person has done great job. Maybe your blog has, recorded some of your greatest achievement. In high school, you have organized a fundraising activity, right? Or in the last job, you have managed a group of 250 staff, right? And you help a company increase a turn around the company, right? From a loss-making into a profit-making enterprise. So if you haven't got a blog, where else can you, keep all these things? Your ex-company is not going to put out all these things that this guy 5 years ago, he was our manager, he did all these great things. And now he went to Australia to study. Whoever wants to employ him, you can ask me, I can testify. Do you think your employer will do that for you? No. So you have to do it for yourself. And the best way to do it is using blog, internet, everything. You see? If this is not enough, right, if you are more ambitious, if you think the blog cannot tell the whole story, do one clip on YouTube. Hi, everybody in Australia, this is Ken here. I've been here for 2 years. Or, I'm studying in CIC, right? At the moment, I'm also looking for jobs. If you have opportunities, would you like to give me a call? I can be available anytime. This is my number. You can do that as well. If you can speak, if you can communicate, they want you to represent their companies. You see? Everybody likes to look good. Everybody likes to dress well. So go and buy yourself the best clothes, right? I'm talking about formal wear, right? Not too expensive, maybe $200 for the guys or the girls, right? Put it in the one nice corner of your closet. Use it for your interviews. If the job is the most important job that you have gone for the interview, right? Wear that. Take a good picture of yourself. You see? Make yourself a brand. Make yourself a product. So then you can get a better job. You don't want to, if you spend 5 years here, you don't want to spend 5 years working in cleaning. You want to spend your first 5 weeks doing cleaning, no problem. First 5 months is okay. You know, yeah? So that is not your identity. That is just for you to get by. That is just for you to get food on the table. You know, it's not for you to, hey, I'm a cleaner, you know, with 5 years experience. You don't have this kind of identity, you see, from this job, right? So don't fool yourself, right? You want to keep on moving forward, right? If you want to feel happy, you got to be moving. If you're not moving in life, you will never be happy. If you make $1 million this year, you'll be very happy. You know why? Because you jump from making $20,000 last year to $1 million this year. You're the proudest person. When you go back to your country, you want to see your primary school teacher, you want to see your uncle you haven't seen for 15 years, you want to see your old friends from kindergarten, because you feel like proud, you see. I'm not saying you want to show off, but you know, you are at the peak of your life. You are at the high place, you see. My friend now has 2 factories in China, 2 shops in Jakarta, and a profitable business in Malaysia. He's from Malaysia. He came back 2 years ago, right? He visited the restaurant that he worked for, a Chinese restaurant. You know, sit down with the boss, you know, had a good chat, have a drink, you know, when the restaurant closed in the evening. Why? Because he's feeling good about himself. But suppose for the next 20 years you only make $1 million a year, like this year. Will you still be happy? No, I don't think so. Because you're not growing. Even though $1 million could be very big money to you right now. But the next 20 years you keep on making only $1 million a year, you won't be happy. Because your son's education costs $3 million a year. Because by the time, you know, it'll be inflation. So you earn $1 million is nothing, because, you know, a loaf of bread or, you know, a meal in lunchtime sandwich costs you $65. Right? So is $1 million useful? No. So you got to keep on going, you know, keep on moving, right? Because the value is going down, right? So you got to make more and more money. So you got to do a blog. So this is the next thing I want to see. Have you written a blog? Like you asked me just now. Did you do it?
Just a bit.
Just a bit?
Yeah.
Go to blogger.com? Yeah?
No. I use another website.
Okay, good. What is the website?
It's called, it's back in my country.
Yeah.
It's an online server called Quinto. I use it there.
Okay. How many million people you have in Bhutan?
My country is a small country. So
Yeah, tell me. How many?
The country, the population is barely touching 1 million.
Oh, barely 1 million, huh? Okay, good. No problem. Now, the reason I ask you all this is because I'm also learning, you see, as I told you before. We all learn from each other. I know, I don't have friends in Bhutan, so this guy is my man in Bhutan, right? All the information I want to know from Bhutan, I talk to this person. Yes, there are a lot of published information on the internet, but you will tell me which one is accurate, which one is not, you see? So, very important, right? Start a blog. Now the next thing is this. Do you know why I asked you to start a blog? It helps you to, you know, improve your job opportunities. It's like your resume. But not only that, ultimately you don't want to be working for somebody. You want to work, yes, you know, better job. Each year you want to go for a better job, all right? But ultimately, it's not about having a job. The reason we have a job is so that we can live, so that we can provide for our family, protect our loved ones, right? So ultimately, what is it that you want? You go for a job, you learn something, learn the skills, so that you can do something for yourself. The Chinese love this logic, the Indians too, because you know, the Chinese and the Indians come from a country where there are a lot of population, a lot of competition. You know, the best way to secure a future is to create a job for yourself, work for a company that you build, not working for someone else, right? Because if you run for your own business, every year you do the right thing, right? 1 year you did the wrong thing, you still have all the earnings to support you when you make a mistake. But if you work for someone, you can be working there for 20 years, right? Do all the right things for the last 20 years. 21st year, right? Next year you did the wrong thing, all your efforts are gone. You see that? So you have to protect yourself by building your own business. So the other thing I want to show you or I want to talk to you about is about trends. Last week, mainly I talked about networking, how to get a better job. This week, it's more about trend. So trend is a very big topic, but I just want to talk a bit generally, talk about the general trend. So different era, different trends, right? Different generation has different trends. Trends keep on changing. Trend is like tides in the sea, in the ocean, right? So if the tide is coming this way, right, you better swim this way, right? Otherwise you'll be sunk, right? You sink in the sea, right? If the wave grow this way, you gotta go the other direction, right? To survive. If you are a surfer, you know that, right? If you always swim in the sea, I think you also should know that, all right? So such is life as well. Life is also about catching the wave, because one person, again, right, the power is limited. That's why you need human beings. You need connection. But connection is not enough, because sometimes, as I told you, the pyramid, right, majority of people are below the pyramid because the pyramid is big at the bottom, it's small on top. So it's very, very narrow. It can only fit a few human beings, right? So you have a team is good, but you're still alone. You still have to think for yourself, because majority of people are always wrong. They don't catch the wave. If they catch a wave, they catch a late wave. When you catch a late wave, it's always dangerous, because there's always a point where the wave will turn, and that's where you catch a lot of people unprepared. A lot of people will get washed out. All right? So you need to know the trend. If you want to be rich in 1994, right, 93, you know what you should be doing? You should be doing IT or mobile phone industry. In Australia, if you sell mobile phone in 1991, right, you are doing something that will take you, to a different level. When 92 comes, when 93 comes, when 96 comes, 97, you'll be making a hell lot of money just by selling mobile phones as a dealership. Understand? Right? Today, if you run a mobile phone dealership, I say good luck to you, because it's a very tough competition. Right? Everybody is a dealership. They sell computers, they sell phones, right? And you barely make any commission from Vodafone, from Telstra, from Optus, right? Because there's too many mobile phones around. It's very hard to sell more mobile phones when everybody has 2 mobile phones. I have 2 now, One is for prepaid, so I can do cheaper calls, So it's very hard to sell me a 3rd phone, right? So today, mobile phone is not the right business. But in those days when I was studying in university, mobile phone is the right business. Not only mobile phones, right? The cards like Hello India, or the call cards, right? You scratch, you got the number. That was also catching up, right? And if you are in those business, you make big money, right? Now that was the trend. Now we have a different trend. So you want to lose money, you go sell mobile phone. You have too much money, you don't know how to spend, you're going to sell phone cards, start a phone card company, right? So in those days, the way to become a millionaire is to sell mobile phones. Today, the way to become a millionaire is to sell mobile phone, but you start from billionaire, and you sell mobile phone, you become millionaire. You understand? And you sell more, and you become a few $100,000 only, because you're losing money. You get what I mean? Right? So you have different trends, different time to do different industry, to get into different industry. But also you have to see, right, cities, countries, economies, societies rise and fall, right? If you were born in the 19th century, right, in the 1800s, you're a young man, right? Wherever you are in the world, you should be going to London, because London is where they have all the money, all the wealth, right? If you're a young man in 1900s, in the 20th century, you shouldn't be going to London anymore, because after World War II, basically, England is on the free fall, right? A lot of job being lost and everything. Economy is dying, right? So you don't go there. You go to New York City, right? And in 21st century now, young men like yourself, young women like yourself, you should be going to Asia, right? Asia, because the economy is booming. The Western economy are like old people. When they are old, they can't grow any further. When they're not growing any further, the economy size is getting smaller, so you have less money to, to use. So you don't go to US now unless you have a, very sure opportunity, right? Because US now is the biggest debtor countries in the world. Everybody has credit cards. Everybody has debts. Yet they have houses, right, worth $500,000, but they have debts worth $600,000. So do you think they are rich? They look rich from the outside, but no, they are not. Right? So when you are spending with debts, sooner or later you get into trouble. Once you lose your job, you can't pay your rent, you can't pay your installment, right? The house is gone. You see? So you got to go to some countries like India, China, Southeast Asia, where the economy is booming. So this is about trends. You have to know that, right? A lot of jobs are lost. I mentioned last week. Every month you get a big major company, sometimes two, right, announcing they move operations to Asia. They move, they close down the factory, they restructure, right? They downsize. Whatever names given to it, it only means one thing: locals lost jobs. All right? Remember that. The next thing about trend is a bigger trend. Let me tell you a bigger trend. Just now that I told you that London, New York, Asia, this is not from me, from the guy called Jim Rogers, right? He's a US investor. He retired when he was 37 because he's so smart in investing. He doesn't need to work anymore. Went around the world twice, right? Yeah, you tell him, he didn't see me, right? So, you gotta learn. So this guy told, his readers, go to New York, right? When in the 20th century, but go to Asia. So in 2007, he actually moved to Singapore, right, with her whole family. Sold his house in New York. Right after he sold the house, not long later, right, the whole subprime crisis, right, happened. A lot of people lost their jobs. Right, all the house prices has dropped. You see, but he sold it when it was high. So he know the trend. As an investor, he can see trends before most of us can see it, before most of us can identify it, right? Now, on that note about trend, you also need to learn to save, because saving is the most important thing that will change your future. If you haven't got saving, you have opportunity, you can't capitalize on it. But if you have savings, right, you only get more and more as you live longer and longer. You see, right? Saving is very important. When you save, you keep your money not only in cash but also in some other things like gold or company shares, right, or term deposit. Now this is called investment. You have to keep it in some place that will grow in value. Don't keep it in a car, because a car loses value every day you drive it on the road. You see that? Give you one example. We have a colleague here, right, in the 90s. That was 1994. Well, he had got some extra cash. He spent $5,000 on a bank share, right, in Australia. And today, right, every year is giving dividend and all that, right? And also on top of the dividend, that he gets, like the interest, the share price also increased. You know how much the share is worth right now? With all the dividends he never touched because it was extra money, $5,000. So every year there's dividend coming in, did not touch it. And then you got, more dividend coming in on a bigger principal. That's called compound interest. I'll talk about that afterward. Today, if he decide to take cash out, the money is not 5,000 anymore. Do you know how much? For him now it's about 160,000, right? Calculated on the increased share value and everything, and all the dividends. You see that? So that was 20 years, $5,000. You know why I use that example? Because that time we were students, right? We bought a Mitsubishi Magna, right? Cash. money. $8,000. $8,000. Where is the Mitsubishi Magna? It's gone. The car, it's gone. You know, $8,000, you know, never recover. But if you put money, say for example, if we were smart, we use $3,000 to buy a older car, a smaller car, a cheaper car, and use the $5,000 to buy the share. Now I have about, you know, $160,000 if I buy the right companies. You see that? So always remember, you know, you have to save, you have to invest. So opportunity comes, you can grab it. Now I want to talk about the bigger trend. The very, very big trend is like this. You know the history of the world, how long is it? How long is the history of the world? History of Australia is like 300 years, 200 years, right? It's not long, right? History of India is thousands of years. History of China is like 5,000-6,000 years, right? Now, so let's say it's 6,000 years, right? Have we been always living like this? No. In the beginning, we live like, you know, we hunt for animals, we pick fruits from the tree, and then we get smarter. So we have a farm. Why not keep the animals in one place? When we want it, we just grab it to eat it. We grow farms, you know. And then we realize that we can make things. It's only until recently, about 300 years ago, 400 years ago, we invented machines. So before we invented machines, nobody, the caveman, don't take a bag, kiss the wife and say goodbye to the child, and then travel, you know, walk or whatever for 1 hour to work in one place with other cavemen. No, they don't do that. There was no machines. You don't have to travel, right? You don't have to go to work. All you need to do is catch the animals. You see that? And then later on, people getting smarter, they invented money. So that with money, right, I don't have to take my, you know, take my cow, give it to you because you want to eat beef, and I take your chicken. Right? 1 cow equals to 50 chicken because I don't want to be eating cow every year. It's very bored. Right? My kids don't want to eat cows anymore, right, or beef anymore. So I had to change it with a chicken farmer. He will give me 50 chicken, I give him 1 cow. So chicken farmer got something new to eat. I got something different for my children. So people started to use money, right? Silver, gold, and then they write on a piece of paper, right? The paper money is lighter, right? And then they invented machines. Now when they first invented machine, right, they realized that, wow, fantastic, we can make so many shoes in short amount of time. Every day we can make 600 pairs of shoes. Every day we can make 20 cars. You see that? Right? So what happened? They have to sell it. Then they have marketing. Because if they don't market these things, it's very hard to sell. In the early days, if you have factory, you are very rich. People will wait to buy your product because there are not many factories around. I'm just telling you, like, very recently. Only like 40 years ago, if you want to become a rich person in Asia, all you need to do is own a factory. Because there are not enough factories. A lot of people, they want shoes. So if you can make shoes for them, they buy shoes from you without you even selling to them or advertise to them. But today is different. Today there's so many shoemakers. There's so many factories in China, in Vietnam, around the world. So even though if you have factory, it doesn't make you a rich man. In fact, if you have factory, it makes you a poorer man because you have to borrow a lot of money, right, to invest in the machines so that you can make the products. You see? So today it's no good to have factories anymore, right? So what I'm trying to tell you here is, number one, there are a lot of competition, and then now there are new ways of making money. The new ways of making money is like you work in the finance job. Factory job initially was, you know, when everybody come from the farm, factory job was very good. If you have factory, you make a lot of money. And slowly the factory job also coming down because there are too many factories. And then people go into finance job, IT jobs. When everybody is doing IT job, again this thing is coming down. Do you understand? And then it goes round and round and round. What do you see today? Today you see there are too many people looking for jobs. Too many universities, too many colleges. Everybody got the same skills. right? But there's not enough company to employ all these people. So right now you're seeing another new trend coming up. The new trend coming up is more and more people are becoming jobless. You see, Europe was very advanced. 100 years ago, 200 years ago, they have all the factories, the machines, you know. And then now, right, all the young people in Europe are jobless. You see, the only industry that's growing is football, right? If you're not good enough in football, you can't make money, you're jobless. But football don't employ a lot of people. You know, one team you only have 11 players, right? How many more reserve you need? 50 reserve, it's more than enough. So you don't get a lot of employment. See? So now we have come to a full circle. Again, you know, people are losing jobs. People think that this is crazy. Like, how can I grow up not working to survive? But actually, throughout most of the human history, we don't need a job. We create job for ourselves. It's only during the Industrial Revolution, the last 300 years, that people go to factory to work. Before the Industrial Revolution, they just have their own farm. They run their own business. You understand? Right? So that's why you need to have your own blog. When you have your own blog, you're starting your own business. You don't need a factory, but you need a blog. You need a website. You see? You need a website. So you can start an online company. I know an Australian couple, right? The wife is selling costume jewelry. And when I go to his house, he got some, you know, he got this model, like with the neck and all that. So where he put his jewelry. He'll take photos, put on the internet. They have no shop, right? They do their business in their own home, right? So they take photos, put on a website, and then all the retailers can go to their house, get the product from them. And now they're selling to about 100 stores. But he himself has not a single office, no warehouse. His warehouse is his house, his garage, right? So he doesn't have to pay rental. You see that? All the rental he pays for his living expenses that he's going to pay anyway, with or without business. And on top of that, you know, rental, and then he's getting a business running in his own home. And he hasn't got a factory. He doesn't produce the costume jewelry herself. She's getting it from China, right? Low cost. A lot of people willing to work hard for her. You see? Yeah, go and open the door if you want. Thanks for helping. And the person with the website is making nobody. Sorry. All right, person with the website is making top money. People who have the factory in China is making small money because they have to make a lot to make small business margin, right? But this lady in Australia, she's making big money all by doing a website, like a middle person, right? And he doesn't even have a shop. As I told you last week, a florist near my home, she closed down the whole shop, the Filipino florist, very artistic, right? People still go to her because she's now running the florist at home. She doesn't have to pay rental. In the past, every $5,000, the first $5,000 she make, she has to pay for the rental of the month or for the week. Now she make $5,000. You know, the first $5,000. I mean, the first $300. Yes, right. After the $300, you know, it's all his profit. It's all her profit. Goes into her profit already. You see? So you have to run a business today. I don't know what you can run, but you can run a business that you are good in. You don't have to run a business you're not good at, right? I can't start a business running a restaurant. I'm a lousy cook. I have to do something else. You see? Maybe I run a school. Maybe I run a tuition center. Something that I'm comfortable doing. You see? But if you're a good cricketer, you can become you can start a coaching business. Personal cricket coach. How to improve their speed, how to improve their techniques. You know? Everyone loves cricket here. And if you are Pakistani or Indian cricketer, you know, it's like a credential. If you want to teach tango, you better be an Argentinian, right? If you want to sell cigar, it's best if you are Cuban. You want to teach yoga, you come from India, it adds to your, prestige. You understand? These are things that you have to. The Italians shouldn't be selling machines. they should be making shoes because Italians are famous for shoes. Germans shouldn't be, starting okay, they can start restaurant German cuisine, but Germans should not be, focused on making handbags so much. They should be concentrating on making cars, sports cars, machines, right? The Swiss will stick to the watches. you see that? So everybody has their own advantage wherever you are from, so you got to think in terms of that. Okay. Now the other thing is, now once you have the trend, you have to have the speed, right? How does speed come from? Last week I talked a bit about speed. Speed is not always about the fastness of your action, because fastness of action is something we can observe, but speed a lot of times are things, come from things that we cannot observe, right? Look around you or your friends, maybe in your own country where you know a lot of people. Think about the successful classmates that you know, old friends or the relatives. Think about that, right? Are these people always in a hurry? Are these people always doing 3-4 things at one time? Talking on the phone and writing something down and catching a bus and late for the appointment? Because these people are always fast in action because they're late, so they have to be fast. But are these people fast in life? These people are not fast in life. They're always late. They don't plan. So speed doesn't come from action unless you're talking about sports. But when you talk about life, speeds come from your mental preparation. Your mental preparation. Because everything prepared, that's speed. I told you last week, when you pick cherry, when I picked cherry in my first cherry picking job, I was so exhilarated. I saw the cherry tree, I climbed up there, everything, branches scratch here and there, wearing singlet. I thought I can make a lot of money because the more I pick, right, the more I get paid. I want to make $200 that day, right? But I can't even hit more than $100. But the old man next to me, he's every day making about averaging $120. When the sun comes up, he start picking, right? Slowly, singing, whistling, right? Old man, right? Twice my age. But in the end of the day, he picked more cherries than me, right? He got paid $120. I got paid $60. You see? Because I was exhausted. I was so fast and I was burnt out before lunchtime. I got so hungry and things like that, So when the day finished, I only got like $60. But this guy got $120. Slow, steady. It turned out to be fast. But me, fast, excited, turned out to be slow. So your speed doesn't come from your action. Your speed comes from the night before. You sit down, you think what I want to do next day, what I will do next week. Should I go to Flinders Street Station or should I be going from Melbourne Central? Because if you want to go to the bank, right, before you come here, you better take a train to Melbourne Central, right? Because early in the morning, less people go there, do your banking, come here. So you save time. Then you become fast. But you don't think, right? You get down from Flinders Street Station, you come here, and then you go there afternoon, and you'll be running around like a dog chasing its tail. So when you start chasing your tail, really there's no point for you to speed up. You might as well chase it slowly, because the faster you chase, the more you waste. You waste your energy, you waste your time. Waste your energy means you get hungry, you gotta eat more, but all the food you eat, you're not producing. You're not making income, you're just spending it on chasing your tail. What's the use? Agree? Yeah? All the resources are limited here. And this is a very high cost country. High cost living. It's very strange. In here, you even need to plan even more. Give you an example. If I have a class at if I want to come to city, right? To do something, right? Not work, do something. Say do the banking, do the shopping and all that. Right? You know what I should do? I should wake up at 6, go to the station, so I can find a car park, come in here, do my things and go back. If I wake up at 10:30, I can't find car park in in a station. I have to drive to an outer suburb. Then I will spend more money, 2 zone, more expensive tickets. You see that? Or if I drive to the city, I could pay more parking. Right? It's very expensive, $40 a day. It's too expensive. So all because I'm late, all because I'm slow, then I pay more money. I experienced this myself here in Australia. You see? But if I'm early, if I plan my trip, if I plan my day, I can save money. If I even plan earlier, I sleep at 9:30, I wake up at 4 in the morning, right? I'll go to the train station at 6, I come here at 6:45, I save another $10. Why? Because it's early bird. I don't have to pay. Do you know that? Yeah, if you arrive to the city before 7, you pay 0. You don't have to pay anything. Do you do that? Yeah? Some of you do that to save money. Yeah? Do you? Yeah. No? Okay. So you can try to do that if you want to save money, you see?
So where we have to spend an extra 2 hours.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
From 7?
You see? Unfortunately not, but you can do something here. Or
What else we do?
yeah, it's true. It's true. But I'm telling you ways to make money. Because sometimes the way to make money is not to go out there and make a lot of money. Sometimes the way to make money is stay home, right? Plan your day, next day. So you come here 3 hours early, right? Or you sleep a bit early, and when you cook, you plan for your next meal the next day. I can tell you easily, if you do that every day you're making $20. You know how you make $20? You save on your train ticket, and you save on your food, because your food is $10, your lunch, right? Your ticket is $10. So every day you have to spend $20. You see? If you wake up a bit early, do some cooking, you save $15, or you just $15, because you go home, you still need $5 ticket fare or whatever. So you save $15. So $15 saved, don't you think it's the same money? It's the same money. So you now don't have to work $15 more. I give you one example. I have one student, Indian student, right, from Punjab, wearing a turban, very hardworking. He drives a truck, right? He's working like 10 hours a day, sometimes miss a lot of classes. So he thinks he works very hard, make a lot of money. Sometimes he likes to show off. He take a whole stack of money, put on the table. Yeah, he feel good, you see, like $50 note, because he's the hardest working student in the class. Unfortunately, he works so much, he failed some of the subjects. That's why he got stacks of money, show us in the morning, in the afternoon it's all gone because they pay for the fee enroll. Otherwise he don't get the visa, you know. And here to redo the subjects. I mean, it's expensive, man. He lost, and when he failed a subject, he cried. Actually, big, strong man, you know, but he cried because this cost him how much? You know, how much? How many hours? Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said that when you came before 7, you don't have to pay for that ticket.
Yeah.
But you have to, when you have to go back, then you have to pay.
Mm.
It's not saving $10 like it's saving $5.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah. That's why I say 15. You know. So every day you spend $20, but you come early bird, right? So you save $15. 15. Not 20, but 15. Yeah. but it's still better than you pay the full fare. You see. It depends. Like if you have early morning classes, up to you. You know. Time is money. Time is always money. If you don't, I mean, if you think about it, if you think time is not money, let's say you make $1 million, right, in your bank account. By the time you are 92 years old, do you think that $1 million is still useful for you? No more, because you're 92 years old. You don't need $1 million to enjoy your life, because you have only 2 more years to live. So time is money, you see. So you want to make money when you are young, when you're fast, right? So that's why you need speed, because speed helps you gain time. If you don't have speed, you don't gain time, right? Speed. So how do you have speed? Speed comes from your mental preparation, but mental preparations come from your focus. You have to be focused. That means you got to focus on your stuff, focus on your own thing. don't focus on playing other people's game. When iPhone 6 come up, a lot of people line up. These are good examples of people play other people's game. You know, because Apple's game is to sell as many phones as possible, right? Apple's game is to get people to line up, to advertise to more people, you know, to talk about iPhone. So you don't wake up early in the morning, go and get the iPhone, because you only help iPhone become richer, right? Help Apple company become, you know, bigger, right? So why you go and play the? Does the iPhone 6 make you a better person? Gives you more enjoyment out of your life? If your iPhone 4 still can work, use it. You know Will Smith, the actor Will Smith, he said one thing that makes a lot of sense, right? Normally I don't quote from Hollywood people because they talk crap, you know, but this quote I think is very useful. You know what he says, right? He says that most of us spend too much time, too much money, right, to buy too many things, to impress people that we don't even know. You know, we impress people like people in the traffic light, the next car, so that in the red light people stop and look at your Porsche or look at your red Ferrari, but you're in debt. You know, you borrow money from the bank just to buy the Ferrari, you know, to impress the people next to you, right, or the girls, right, who are in the next car. It makes you feel good. But you don't even get to know the girl, you know. You don't even like get to know the neighbor. You know, you always want to keep up with the Joneses. So we think we are adults, right? But we act like children. We want to have the biggest car, right? The biggest house in the most expensive neighborhood. Real story, there are a lot of people that live in the very nice house now, right, in Kew, in Camberwell. Young couple. I mean, there are two types of people live in the expensive suburbs. One is like they come from very, very rich family, right? Their great-great-grand-uncle has been very rich. They don't have to work for their whole life. So they only live there because it's their father's house. Their father passed away, this their house. So they live in expensive suburbs. Another group of people who live in expensive suburbs are those people who have good jobs. So they can borrow good, big money, right? Then they can live in the house, but they haven't paid in full, right? But they want to impress. So they come from not so rich family, but they're so impressed and so, envious about all these rich people living in nice suburb. So they move in there when they got a new job. And this type of people is very easy to identify. Do you know how you identify them? Just drive by all these expensive suburbs, right? You will see their house, you will see their cars in their house, in front of the house. Only when you drive around there at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're at home sleeping, right? As soon as you go there at 8:30, they're gone, whole day. Only when you come back, only when you drive by about 7:30, they're home, or maybe 8:30 they're home, because they spend most of the time making money to pay for the house. You see, but they never live more than 6 hours every day in the house. So why have that big house? You see that? You agree? Right? No use having a best house. You don't even have to own it. You might as well rent it. You know? See that? So you gotta think about what you want to do. Right? I want to show you one quick clip. This clip is very interesting. Right?